Game 3 is live, so let's jump right into the game. Starting to the top right, we have once more our Protoss player for Team Mouse Sports. It is Deer. And he's going up against a Terran opponent today once more. Deer, great Protoss versus Terran player. With an incredible win ratio, more than 70% with 60 maps played. And he's going up against the Terran to the bottom left of the map in red. It is 5ED Gaming Apocalypse. Was really happy after the victory on map number 2. And actually thinking about it, by all means he should by now be in the 2-0 lead, thinking about how their first game started with the Nexus cancel of the Protoss opponent. But Apocalypse not quite able to really follow through the advantage that he gained there. So right now, what is he going to do? Is he going to be able to really pull ahead in the best of 5 series? We're going to find out right now. D, on the other hand, realizing that it's going to be a little bit tougher than he maybe expected against his opponent. He wants to go to the semi-final, going up against, for GG, another Terran player. And well, let's see if he can do it. Apocalypse, of course, starting with a gas once again, wants to go into the Reaper build. And on a map like Yonsu, what do you think are we going to see from the Protoss player here after what he tried to do in game number 2 that didn't really work out for him?
Well, we can already see the double gas opening, which means that if he does get eBay blocked, we should look to see a tech building before his Nexus will get started. If not, I still think he will take that Nexus from no units going into Mothership Core and a tech building. But either way, a double gas means the potential of a quick Twilight Council on Stargate, which I think on a map like Yonsu should be coming as no surprise at all. It could be the Twilight or the Stargate, as we said, and then it could be DT, Blink, or Oracle. I do favor seeing Blink from Deer. It's seeing the Oracle from Deer. It does seem like he does that quite a lot more.
I'm actually really surprised that we didn't see more Blink commitments in the tournament.
In the whole tournament,
yeah. We talked about this yesterday already a little bit, and of course, Terran players figuring out a little bit more how to properly defend against it, but it's still such a strong build that I'm a bit baffled that not a single Protoss player so far really committed to Blink pressure against the Terran opponent. We might see that, of course, later on today, but for now we have the double Reaper started here by Apocalypse to put some pressure onto Deer, onto the Protoss player, maybe even snipe a couple of probes there. And let's see what Deer has planned. So far we see with the Mothership Core and the first Stalker, that's definitely going to help with the start, but what is his tech choice going to be? As you said, we could see the Stargate here, we could see him once again with the Oracle, but it is the Twilight Council.
Yeah.
So we might see that Blink build now coming in after all.
Just straight away Twilight Council, 3 probes on every gas, maximum gas mining, no Zealot and no probe even trying to secure position on the natural base. Deer is making no effort to hide his intentions whatsoever. He's staying on one base, making Stalkers and Twilight Council, and he's not making any probes. So what he's likely going to... Oh, actually he's going to throw up a Nexus now. Okay, so that's interesting. It's not like he's going to throw up 3 gateways like we've seen Elfie do, doing a 1-base blink into a contain, which nonetheless worked very well for Elfie against Apocalypse on Yonsu, with 2 straight victories on that map against Apocalypse in their earlier series of the tournament. Deer, however, is throwing up a relatively early Nexus after a super quick blink.
Yeah, and we have, I think, for Apocalypse, like, no vision. He doesn't really know about the tech choice of Deer. He had those 2 the 2 Reapers, of course, trumping into the main base, but Deer was ready with 2 Stalkers, very well positioned, and forcing them back immediately. So there's currently no scouting going on. The Reapers, of course, going to try again, this time coming in from the natural, and they will get a good look at the Twilight Council there. The Stalkers this time a bit out of position, maybe even a probe going down. Doesn't really look like it, but at least Apocalypse is in the know now. He saw the Twilight Council, he realizes there's going to be a Blink upgrade, and he's already preparing back at home with the first few Marauders that he has, and will most likely also add additional bunkers.
Yeah, that's always the main job of the Reaper. One shouldn't get too blindsided by the juicy potential of trying to kill some SCVs. Their first job is scouting. If they can fulfill that purpose and stay alive, that's the most important mission achieved, objective accomplished. So now Apocalypse moves back in, sees maybe, are you now also building a Dark Shrine? Are you still upgrading Blink? Was it a fake out? We'll try to get back in there. Do you still have only 3 gateways, or are you making more? And now he sees that Robo facility, which means half of a Blink committal, not really all that much, not an all-in, and then potentially going into Colossus and upgrades back at home. So he knows he should not be overreacting now, or at least he should know. But we've seen him overreact before to relatively light Blink pressures. I see right now no SCVs being produced, no factory being started. That's a bit of a problem against this light-hearted Blink harassment here.
On the other hand, he builds only one bunker, and that's a very, very late bunker. When he saw the Twilight Council, he didn't even react at all. He just produced more and more Marauders. And do you think that he might even just try to be aggressive with the Marauders and the upgrades that he currently has? Because he's going for Stim and Combat Shield. And with him cutting SCV production and just getting units out there, he could try to go and just go for some counter-aggression.
It's a very risky affair.
There are no bunkers whatsoever. I really thought that when he saw the Twilight Council, he would at least start to build a bunker, maybe at the natural and one in the main base. But he didn't do that at all. He started to build a bunker once he saw the robotics.
It just looks like Apocalypse is very weak against any kind of Blink build, whether it's a commitment or not. Deer is very strong with it. Now starting to go in. Hasn't lost a single Stalker yet. Even now, blinking back the Stalkers. There goes the first Stalker. He's making really fair trade here. Apocalypse losing a lot of units and SCVs. Now the Stalkers are starting to fall like flies. Mothership Core is down, and that marks the end of this aggression. But he did kill 7 SCVs, and in addition to the very low amount of extra SCVs that Apocalypse produced, he's sitting at only 20 right now.
Yeah. We had Dia with a really good timing there. Just a few seconds later, and Stim would have been completed. And if that would have been the case, then I feel the Protoss player would have lost even more Stalkers than he did. But as you already said, the harvester count for Apocalypse is very low right now. 22 against 32 at this point.
4 Reapers are in production.
That's super interesting.
That is so strange. Reaper isn't a unit that beats the Stalker, so he's looking to fly these around the Blink contain and get to the base of Deer, knowing that since the Mothership Core went down, there isn't any photon overcharge, knowing that most of the units will be warped in at the front. But I find it a really risky gamble.
He will have 5 Reapers in total. I mean, right now he's just chasing the Protoss player well and trying to get that pylon. The Reapers are jumping in. It actually looks a little bit like he just hit the wrong hotkey, to be honest.
No.
Well, if he would have... he has the Reapers as part of his main army. That looks like he hit the wrong hotkey to me. If not, he would have tried to just get them around the Stalkers into the main base. But having them in the same control group...
I don't know, it's just very strange.
Why would you control the Reapers in the same group for defense here?
What I think he wanted to do is do fly them around and not get them seen and go to the main base. But then suddenly when he found himself in the midst of this fight against Stalkers, he thought, okay, maybe you have a lot of red Stalkers because you're blinking them away. Maybe my army will do quite okay, but I can't get the last units. And then let the Reapers fulfill that purpose. But it doesn't work out that way. There were too many Stalkers. His stimmed army was too red, too hurt, too effective trades for Deer. And now it just looks like this small blink commitment will actually just take down Apocalypse because he doesn't know how to deal with it well enough.
He's losing way too much here, and he's already down harvesters, as we said several times before, 25 against 38, so he's not going to recover after this. It's Dia already with so much damage that Dia was able to dish out here. In Apocalypse, he can't even produce SCVs. He's even losing more than that, and this is the entire income that he has. He's losing supply, he's losing add-ons, he's losing everything in the main base. He just doesn't have the army to defend against this. He's looking at 14 army supply against 23, and those Blink Stalkers with good unit control that Dia definitely has are just so effective. Sniping production buildings right now, and Apocalypse is just, he's on the last leg here.
Yeah, the last leg, and Deer is about to kick that out from under him, as no SCVs will be left even to lick any wounds here, even if he does survive this, which I don't think he will.
One Stalker just in the nick of time, blinking back to safety. Barely getting away here, but Apocalypse is down to 38 overall supply. He has half the supply that Dia has. 2 bases for both of them, but it's just the income that we see for Dia that is making all the difference. And of course the unit control here too. Moving into the main base once again, taking down the army, and Apocalypse is gonna type out any second here. He's losing way too much. GG, and Dia with a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 series.
Yeah, that was a very quick blink research by Deer, but he did it all off of 3 gateways, which shouldn't really work against someone, especially someone who's making full army and no SCVs.